All right, we actually have another user submitted replay here. Here in the red, Vanguard is DeYan, and he was supposed to be in the Alpha Navigators Cup today, but I think he was disqualified for not um, checking in. And his opponent here is Nobody in the blue Infernal, although Nobody is also a Smurf account. This is a Smurf account of the streamer Dutchy. And Dutchy is a friend of mine on Twitch, and he submitted this to me saying, I think this is a good game. Check it out. And he's playing an Infernal. And while he is sort of a random player or an all factions player, he is playing Infernal a lot lately, and his Infernal MMR has been going up a lot. He's in the top 300, I think. Um, and he is about 1900, if I recall correctly. You can check him out. But this is a dog from DeYan to do a little annoyance here, maybe trying to get in the way of some creeping. And just see overall what's going down for Dutchy. Now we've got a Bob creeping over here. Overcharged Bob's creeping. And then they're going to take that and build a CC. This is a CC or CP, I should say. Command post first. Command post first. And do we see barracks? Yeah, barracks going down now. And we also see a very fast shrine. And this dog's trying to be annoying. And, ooh, it goes down. Okay. Sucks when you're a Vanguard to lose your dog, but if you are an Infernal player and get to kill that annoying dog, you're usually pretty happy. That's a win right there. Soaking up those healing juices for a minute before moving back out. Where to? So we got another Conclave going down. Is that a second one? No, we actually have a Hellforge. It's a little different strategy than we've seen in some of those games we watched today in the Alpha Navigators Cup. This is going to be for some fast brute upgrades, I imagine. There's not much else you can do with a very fast Hellforge like that. So we'll see how that works in this matchup. Back home for DeYan, we have a single Lancer popping out. Another Lancer looks like on the way. Habitat created. And where are these Lancers off to? Probably off to go to the Vision Camp. And it's brutes, brutes and fiends, I guess you could say. This shrine just finishing. And yeah, we went straight into Soulforge Ascendants. Remember, giving you the bonus armor and an additional fiend when you split your brutes. So that can be useful for two things. One thing is your brutes are just more tanky, and that's often their job on your front line. It's just to tank some damage. But then when they split into three. And we saw one brute being split there. I think that one was maybe premature. If you've got the Soulforge Ascendants on the way, instead of splitting your brute, why don't you go send him and eat this cabbage? Then you can split him later once he spits out 3 fiends instead of 2. These Lancers doing their job down here. They're pretty tanky. Although, yeah, they're taking a lot of damage, but I think as we see here, yeah, you can just run off, eat that cabbage. That heals you up mostly. Although we do see Dutchy's units coming down here trying to steal. The Fiends, you know, you kind of want to get a little surround. You might want to get on that weak one. Yeah, get that weak one. But the Fiends just get shredded by the line attack of the Lancers. So even though they do pretty good damage to the Lancers, they just die really fast. Brutes, on the other hand, nice and tanky, and they're really good against the Lancers. And, well, yeah, that's a 2-minute upgrade. Ooh. But it's almost done, and we now see a Ritual Chamber being added there. Let's keep an eye on the Soulforge Ascendants to see if there's any timing attached to that. And Dutchy's just looks like he's going to creep out his camp while these Lancers are also on a creeping journey. Back home here, we do have a Biokinetic Slab. I don't see any upgrades coming out of it yet. Is that because it is done, upgrades, or No, it is not done the Lancer upgrades. So we can keep an eye on that too if we like. What's this? 2 more racks? 2 more racks going down. And there we go. Exo's coming out. I was going to say there's a lot of Lancers here. So there's usually going to be some kind of tech switch coming out. A bunch of Fiends trying to do a run by, but with all those Lancers over there, they're not going to do much. I think, yeah, they're searching out. Is there a third? They don't see a third. And looks like just Gonson or Brute. So those are all those Brutes got split, it looks like. And they're just chilling here maybe to see, are there Bobs coming in? Sure enough, these poor overcharged Bobs are going to run right into some Fiends. Luckily, overcharged means they have 50% armor. Ooh, the Fiend's running by and getting a surround on one of the Exos. And trying to get the other Exo, but the Exo actually skillfully running behind the sword boys. These Fiends instead saying, okay, well, why don't I run around through your base, see if I can get a spot, see what you're doing. Maybe I can get on top of these, try and kill a depot. I like that choice of the depot instead of the, or the habitat, I should say, instead of the Bobs, because the Bobs they were all tucked in here. Once you're in there, your Fiends are pretty much going to be dead, because the Bobs just have to turn an attack and now you're surrounded. And Bobs, if I do need to remind you, they are pretty much invincible, so... you know, get an overcharge on them, they're taking way less damage, and they just seem to have a lot of tankiness. And yeah, don't try and fight Bobs. Here's a Bob. Is that Bob going to go down? It goes down. But the other 5 got overcharged, and they're just chilling. It's a pretty big Bioforce. Certainly can take care of a handful of Fiends. But it looks like they're going to go for the V5 rocket launcher, also known as the pencil crayon shooter. And here he comes. Pencil crayon shooter out. Where do you want me? Too bad, I'm going to drive wherever I want. That's because I'm the pencil crayon shooter. And you think I want to go that way? No, I want to go this way. But there are a bunch of units here up in the natural. They cleared out the sentry post. They're on top of these Exos, managing to kill 2 of them and spawn some Fiends with those Plague Axes. Another effigy, or he's going to want another effigy, I should say, but he can't get one down because it was on cooldown. He did manage to get that Nightfall infestation on those Bobs. Is this one going to go down? Yeah, one actually died, but didn't spawn a Fiend. That's weird. How do you die from infest but not spawn a Fiend? Curious. Instead, it's full retreat, it looks like, for Dutchy. He wanted to do some damage, did, killed some depots and a sentry post. But then just retreating and sending these Fiends to, again, scout out. Is there a third? But now we've got the pencil crayon launcher is now over here. I don't know how it got zoned away. I thought it was for sure going up to hit the natural. And this ball of bio is largely all Exo. Looks like it's been only Exos produced since switching tech. Of course, having not lost too many of those Lancers, there's no real reason to add even more frontline. You don't need a huge bunch of them, just enough to keep the melee units or the frontline units off your Exos from your opponent. One Fiend's getting a scout out here. And we're back to creeping, it looks like. Dutchy's army just chilling out in the healing hot tub. Heal up, everybody. But maybe now moving out, we do see some Weavers added to this mass. And actually, it's DeYan with the supply lead here. With this Bio Ball moving out, and a 4th base going down for DeYan. Looks like a fourth base also going down for Dutchy. And also an interesting, nice wall to protect that third base. This is actually smart, and I also have started doing something like this myself, putting some of this on the high ground. You like to put it at the low ground, it seems like. Put them all around your base. But this gives you better warning. There's a nice Wraith Stone there that it gets taken out. But now a huge flank. And Flame Imps! Whoa! Wow! Those are some huge explosions of Flame Imps coming in. Running up from the third base there. Wow. Those are like little bandits. You see those flamers coming on, you gotta run. And that's some... Okay, I like this. Going through the light forest. The brutes can't follow. The brutes are going to clog the way, so it's harder for the other units to follow. Another... And just hanging out in the forest now, because a lot of these units just can't come in and do anything. So, this is not good. Oh, what happened there? Another bug. Lots of bugs, it seems. The lashes did not work, and I think it was because they might have been in the light trees, and there was some kind of collision bug there. Very cool. Cool to see bugs. We are in early access, so no worries. And DeYan's troops heading back home. Well, it looks like the supply difference has swapped now. Now it's in favor of Dutchy. And Dutchy with a fourth base also going up. Playing a more defensive macro style. This base is also up for DeYan. And he's added a nice Vulcan in there in the medtech as well. I think I'd like to see more Lancers as well. Those Lancers died and you want to replace them so you still have a good front line. This base up in mining, this base up in mining. So we got 4 pretty good bases for DeYan. And Dutchy, using his jump jets to clear some trees. Dutchy's force also just camped out at the vision camp. Okay, here's something. We've got a Harbinger, but it ain't got nothing in it. Thought we might have seen. Oh, here we go. 2 Harbingers filled with imps. I wonder what that could be. I'm going to go to the island and build a base. Let's assume that that's what it is. It's just going to the island. Now, here's a push up into this 4th base. There's a lot of static D up there, and there are some flaming imps that do impact on the front line there. And another manifest shred zone. What happened to that drop? Oh, they're just chilling there. The Vulcan gets tagged and pulled to the back. I was gonna say focus down, but he almost managed to get out of there. More Lancers showing up. They're managing to get their way to the front line. 1 XO squished up against the Weavers, and he goes down. And the drop is still just chilling. Okay, drop. Do something. Do something, drop. Of course, if you're going to sit your imps here, they might as well be mining. There we go. Boo. Oh, he dropped out. There we go. Dropped all the imps. Okay, that was an interesting reorganization. And here we go. A bunch of imps. Coming to the 4th base. What's the strat? Oh, so many imps. That was definitely overkill with the imps. But amazing. Oh, I like this. Oh, how do you like that? Killed all your stuff, and then I'm putting down some shroud stones. Also, I'm moving out to your vision camp. So there's nothing you can do about this. My shroud stones are going to get up. Again, if you're in this situation, pull your bobs. Don't... What? Okay. Pull your bobs and attack shroud stones. You can out DPS a shroud stone. I haven't tested this, but in StarCraft, if you pulled 3 drones, you could out DPS the photon cannon. So my instinct when I see this is pull 3 drones and go put them on each one of those and you should be able to out DPS it. But they've arrived, and we now have Sentinels here as well. Nice stasis is on the Weavers. Good way to deal with Weavers. I haven't seen that used yet. Moving forward, again, you don't focus fire them when they're in the stasis because then they come out of stasis. That Vulcan actually surviving despite getting lashed. Now, if you're right on top of them, you can shoot them out of stasis. A lot of Weavers, 5-6 Weavers, but there's not a lot in this army that you want to yank other than those Vulcans, I guess. The Shroud Stones have done their job. Here we got this base. And, well, where is this army going? Maybe over back up to the 3rd. There's a Hornet looking for some hidden base. And here's a big engage. Well, we do see a drop over here. Let's keep an eye on that on the mini-map. This engage is going down, and here we have the drop. Ooh, Flame Imps taking out. Meanwhile, the big battle, we got Stasis. Ooh, Stasis on the Weavers. And this army is moving back. Meanwhile, looks like we might have got some Flame Imps over here as well. So managing to get on top of the vision camp, but not managing to capture the vision camp because of these units hanging out behind the trees. That's a lot of stuff. There's also a base going down here that is actually being Shroudstone as it's being built. A nice lash on the Vulcan, forcing it to go to the high ground, and that poor Vulcan's all abandoned. I could totally see this Vulcan taking out the Shroudstone, but no, he goes down. Couple production buildings going down at the front. I can't quite see where that drop is. Another drop over here, it looks like. Hellborn in the back, firing down. Brutes trying to force their way to the front. All the Exos in the back. Some of the Exos not firing, which is not great. But there are Fiends flowing in. And Weavers and Gaunts, and wow, I don't know who. There is now the Molten Touch coming out of the Hellborns. A couple flanking Gaunts, but there's a nice Shroudstone here while it just gets focused in one volley. A single Lancer trying to be annoying. Brutes arrive, but again, focus fire from all these Exos, sorry. Okay, we got an Infest going down. We've kind of got a little bit of a flank, although the damage that's going down on these Gaunts is just too much. The left-hand side Gaunts melt away, but the right-hand side Gaunts do push forward. And here the Hellborn. Wow, we actually get a little bit of a snowball effect, and there goes those Exos. The reinforcing Exos are forced to run home, and now it's back in Dutchy's favor in terms of supply, and Dutchy is moving out. All these units moving across the map. Although, taking time to wait for the slow ones to arrive, which is good. A couple imps moving across here too. Not sure what that's about. Like, all these workers transferred. There are now 19 workers here. That's a little too many. I think he was just focusing on his macro a little bit. Ooh, we see a battle carrier. This is the late game tech that, as a Vanguard, you aim for. Ooh, and a bunch of Gravens being added as well. We do see some Bobs coming over this way, but did they forget? Ooh, I didn't know that battle cruisers could take out the Horus. Or helicarriers, I should say, not battle cruisers. And this little army, there's some invisible Gravens, and they do really good against light. They'll just shred Gaunts and Fiends. But this army from Dutchy is just a little bigger. DeYan managing to catch up a little bit again. And trying to push into this base, which is really kind of well defended. And there is an army here which is uncertain about which way it wants to engage. Allowing this army to maybe Wow, nice bombing run. A nice nightfall infestation going down on tops of those exos. We hear a lot of ghosts dying, and by ghosts I of course mean Graven. And okay, some sticky bombs, but they're almost friendly fire sticky bombs. And a couple of them managed to get up onto the high ground there. That's not going to save them very long. Oh, they die. So we do have medtechs marching back here. Okay, I'm like, what was going on here? They made one sentry post to shoot at this. Alright, well, the retreating medtechs, well, let's call this the sentry post push. It's very slowly pushing, but unfortunately the fiends show up and the fiends are like, no more of this, Bobs. We heard about this, but we do not approve. You're all going down. And they do. But this is maybe the battle. This is where the battle begins anew. A bunch of exos headed over here to try and take that out. Shroudstone going down here. That's what I'm talking about, that DPS of the Bobs. You probably don't need all 12 of them, or however many there were pulled there. But you can definitely out DPS the growth of a cannon or a Shroudstone with some attacking workers. Here we have Bob versus Brute with Hellborns in the back, and those Bobs, despite being overcharged, all going down. And this base is glass, and so is the sentry push, even though it looks like the base did go down. And actually, that looks like that was a no GG out of there for DeYan and a win for Dutchy.